The NAACP is a quite contemptible organisation, and this is why. Shiloh Hendrix is a young mother, quite attractive white woman, and she was in a park with her young son, baby son, and a kid who happened to be a Somali stole something from her diaper bag. There was some sort of incident, and she let off an epithet to this kid. It's a dreaded N-word. And there was a rather dubious character who filmed the incident. And that should have been it, you know. But the NAACP got involved and they pressurised the authorities to charge her with something. In the end, she was charged with reckless endangerment, acquitted on the charge of recklessly endangering the kid, but convicted on the charge of recklessly endangering this guy with a camera. And the whole thing is ludicrous. This was in May last year. She set up a fundraiser, but she said she was doxxed and there was all sorts of insults hurled at her. I can believe that, and received a massive response. And the reason I think most people believe she got such a massive response and so enormous donations was because on April 2nd, about a month before that incident, Carmelo Anthony murdered Austin Metcalf, stabbed him in the heart, and he was granted bail out on bond, and his parents, somebody set up a fundraiser, and that got like around $750,000 for a clear-cut case of murder. Carmelo Anthony was convicted this year after more than a year out on bond, and this is the NAACP's response. This was June the 9th. Carmelo Anthony's trial is the latest in a long line of cases where the fair treatment of black Americans by the justice system has been called into question. Called into question by whom? And there's a load of guff about unequal outcomes and how 3 blacks were struck from the jury. But it wasn't an all-white jury. And they've actually, one of their leading members is acting for Anthony pro bono for an appeal. The facts of this case are, there was a track meet in Texas, and Austin Metcalf and his brother were in one tent with around 15 or 20 other kids. 17-year-old, he was 17 years old. The twins were 17, and so was Anthony, and the black kids as well. Anthony entered the tent and he was told he wasn't allowed in. Why he entered that tent, but when he could have entered others where he wouldn't have been ejected, well, there's a reason for that. He had a bag, and in that bag was a knife with a folding blade, and it was locked in position. He was asked repeatedly to leave, not just by Austin Metcalf. He eventually said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf touched him. Then he said, "Punch me and see what happens." Metcalf didn't punch him, he was much bigger than Anthony. At one point he said that, I think the phrase was, "Dude, I'm not going to fight you at a track meet," something like that. He tried to eject him from the tent. Out came the knife, stabbed Austin in the heart. Clear-cut case of murder. The idea that this was self-defence was ludicrous. And the NAACP is trying to get a retrial for this little scumbag. I mean, Absolutely ludicrous. If this had been another black kid he'd stabbed, we wouldn't have heard anything about it. These people have been in contempt. Everything has to be about race. And they're always in the right, and Whitey's always in the wrong. Even when he's been murdered. So that's why they're so contemptible. As for Shiloh Hendrix, I hope she appeals, but I don't want to see her spend any of her own money. This needs to go all the way to the Supreme Court. The attorney, Andrew Branker, has done a lot of analysis of this case, and he says that it was a complete stitch-up, as it was. But what else do you expect in Minnesota? The place where Derek Chauvin was convicted of the murder of George Floyd, totally unjustly. Anyway, that's all I have to say. But the NAACP is disgusting, and anyone who supports it is disgusting.